So I'm going to show you how to use Google Calendar. Now, Google Calendar is far more robust than what we could have done in first class. And I know not many people ever used their calendar in first class, but you may choose to use Google Calendar because it can do a lot more for you, and it's a lot more easily accessible than what your first class calendar was. So I can get to Calendar a few different ways. If I'm in my Drive, I can just click on my Google Waffle and I can go to Calendar and it'll take me to it, or the website address is calendar.google.com. Now once I'm in Calendar, this is my calendar. So over here on the left it'll tell me, hey, this is the calendar that I am in right here, and then I can choose to view my calendar in day, week, month, or agenda view. Right? So I like the month view. And if I wanted to add something to my calendar today, all I'd have to do is click Create. If I hit Create, it will add a new event. Or if I wanted to click the little arrow, I could do a quick add, which will allow me to type in normal language. So for example, I could say staff meeting today at 4 p.m. 3 p.m. and click Add, and it would automatically add staff meeting to my calendar. It adds it to today, and it automatically sets the time to 3 p.m. If I hit Create, this gives me a full-blown ability to add my events. Does the same thing, gives me the same features. It's just a quick add versus a full blown tool to create my event here. So let's say I had another event I wanted to add. So maybe tomorrow we have 5th grade parent night, and I can click and choose my date. I can click and choose my time. Let's say it's 6:30, and it's only going to be today. I can adjust my time zones. If it's something that doesn't have a specific time, I can make it an all-day event. I can choose to repeat events if I want to, and control how often it's going to occur, just like I did in first class. This is where I can choose where this would happen. So I could put in maps, and if it's something that has an address, it'll actually connect it to Google Maps. So if I put in 11055 St. Charles Rock Road, I can actually link that to it. I could choose which calendar it goes on. So if I have multiple calendars, we'll talk about that in a minute, I can type in a description on what the event is. I can add attachments. So if I want to attach maybe a flyer for that event, I can do that. And I can adjust colors and control exactly what that event is going to look like. And I can even choose to set a notification where it'll let me know so many minutes ahead of time, and or send me an email so many minutes to remind me of those notifications if I want. And then I can control whether or not it's just going to show up in my calendar, or it could be a public or private event. We'll talk more about that later. The big difference here is I have the ability to invite people. These were called participants in first class. These are called guests in Google. So if I wanted to invite someone to it, because we are a Google Suite for Education user in our district, we get every single person in our district showing up in here, so I can invite other people from the district without having to know their email addresses and things like that. And then I can choose what access guests have. So I can say, can they modify or make changes to this event? Are they allowed to invite other people? And can they see who I invited? So I can adjust these settings if I want to. The other thing I can do here, which is really cool, is I can actually reserve rooms. So they are setting up every single room location that we have available to us. So let's say this event is going to take place in the cafeteria. I could choose the cafeteria, and it will also add it to my location. And there will be a cafeteria calendar that this gets added to, which will automatically show this event on that calendar and show that this has automatically been taken care of. I can also search for rooms if I can't find what I'm looking for. This will show me everything in the district, so I need to be able to see those other locations. But then when I'm done, it shows me, okay, it's my calendar, it's going to Mrs. Roth, and it's going to show up on the Holman calendar here at the same time. All right, when I'm all done, I click Save, and it will create that event and do it. So it says, would you like me to send invitations to guests? If I hit yes, they will receive an email inviting them to this event. They will have the ability to choose to either accept or decline that invitation. So it will let me know whether or not that they have chosen to accept it. That goes on their calendar. If they have declined it, then it doesn't show up on their calendar. So now if I click on it, I get all the information that I had added before. There's a link to a map. I can choose to say whether yes, I'm going, no, I'm not going, if I want to let other members of that group know, or I can go back and edit and make changes if I want. I can also click on any day in a calendar, and when I click, it's going to open up the ability to do another quick event, or I can simply type in normal language what's going on, or if I need to have more options, I can click Edit Event, which opens up the full edit mode. So this is how I can add events to my calendar. Now you don't see it on my calendar yet, but you will see a list of shared calendars that are going to show up down here on the left sidebar. So shared calendars are calendars that the district has set up that you're already going to be part of. So things like the building calendar that is run by Stacy and all the events that she puts in there for the whole building, those things are going to show up down there automatically that you can click on and check out. Things like the ISS calendar and any other shared calendar that we need to have access to, you're going to see those calendars down there in that bottom corner. So if you need to be able to click on those, you can do those. Now, those are most likely going to be view-only calendars unless you have been given edit access to be able to make changes to those. So you'll be able to check them out, you'll be able to see them, you'll be able to add events from it to your personal calendar if you choose to, but you won't be able to actually add or edit that calendar unless they have given you access to be able to do that, which is set by the powers that be and who needs that access and who doesn't. So, for example, I have a calendar here. This is a holidays calendar that gives me all the holidays in the United States. And if I wanted to go and make changes to it, notice it doesn't give me any of those options. I can't go and adjust that if I want to. Now, again, I can copy this to my calendar. If I wanted to add it to my calendar, I could do that, and then I could make edits and changes to it because it'll then show up in my calendar as I do that.